The third Monday of January, a day that students and workers around the United States are ecstatic due to the prerequisite of a day off. There's a deeper meaning to this day. It is not simply a government-given holiday for a 4-day weekend or extra day relaxation. This is a day to celebrate the birth of a man who not only touched the minds, hearts, and souls of many with his words, but a man who cried for peace and equality that continues to live within all and motivate the future generations. In today's world, America is changing. The majority and minority are progressively becoming more and more distant from one another. A nation which praises itself in being a melting pot still takes advantage of women and those within minority groups. The dream for every individual to be viewed as an equal may seem unrealistic and a mere fantasy. Yes, Martin Luther King Jr. fought primarily for the equality and the rights for the African American community, but it is now visibly shown that African Americans are not the only class misrepresented in America. The men and women who fought for religious justice, gay rights, and equal pay are warriors in the battle alongside African Americans. Their circumstances may not be the same as African Americans or other categories, but they understand the need for change and development in the society. As a group, they have one thing in common, and that is the necessity for their cries to be heard and the hidden silence within each community to be removed. Many believe that if an issue does not personally affect them, then it is not their problem. The problem with that mentality is that there is an inevitable chance that that particular social issue will happen to them next. This is when silence can be the deadliest weapon against the growth and stand of our nation's problems. Protests and sittings, at a glance, are seen as pointless with no effect, but it is still better than simply allowing anything to be swept under the rug and ignored. When the people ignore what is going on, the government would do the same. Similar to the body, if there is no stress or disturbance, there is no change or development. A silent man is more of a betrayer than a snitch or a rat. The snitch recognizes a problem at hand and defies what others believe would be the safer action. They represent the greater good that places their morals and ethics above their safety and the way that they are perceived by others. In many ways, civil rights activists are snitches against the government. They revolt and expose the truth of what is happening within the communities. A silent man will conform and ignore the wrong, even when it is against his morals. This occurs within every group. There's no such thing as an only black problem or only woman problem. A situation that affects one affects all. Everyone falls into multiple groups, and ignoring one portion of their life means they are betraying themselves. Is it the duty to fight for others, or should we simply fight and strive for personal well-being? Men and women both strive for greatness and success in their lifetime, but what if that success is created through helping another individual? These two questions will lead one to debate whether they are on the path for personal justice or social justice. There are times when the battle must be fought alone, but then there are times when unity is needed. Before the social matters of the world are challenged, one must realize independently that there needs to be a change. Harriet Tubman once said, "Every great dream begins with a dreamer." Always remember you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach the stars to change the world, to inspire others. Inspiration must derive from within. There's a time and a place to fight one problem, and there's a time to fight a different problem. Before it was gay rights as a nation. That matter was conquered. Now, once again, police brutality and justice for Native Americans, African Americans, and Arab Americans must become the focal point for America. Become socially conscious and abandon the self-doubt of being unable to make a difference. It only takes one person to become the catalyst that changes the world. As a nation, this day should be used as a day of remembrance, not only for a great man, but for those who followed in his footsteps to continue the battle, which we continue to fight every day. The uplift and unity of humanity is the prescription needed to help the dwindling country. There are many negatives within America, but one must recognize the great work that people in the past have made, the trials and tribulations they overcame just for the generations to follow. The third Monday of January, a day of rest and a day of jubilation.